Okay, so now that I've finally managed to actually make a start in the modern era, it's now time for me to move on to our second weekend event, which will be the 968 trophy. And yes, I decided to do the Boxster trophy first because, as you have now seen, that race proved to be way easier than the 968 trophy was in Metropolis. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buy myself a new car, because I figure it is imperative for me to get a new 968 if there's one available. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm gonna buy this one, because as I've now established, that model is way too expensive for me to just burn my money on. So what am I going to do instead? Well, I'm going to use a cheaper option, and that cheaper option I'm going to use will be the 968 CS. I think it means Cabriolet Sport, but I could be wrong. So the CS proves to be slightly better than the normal 968, and to be completely honest, that's what I'm going to do. I am going to buy the 968 CS. As for the colour, well... Let's see. What colour can I get this thing in? Sure, why not? I'll get this thing in this colour, whatever the hell this... I'll get this thing in blue and see what happens. But anyways, yeah. So let's now move on to the 968 trophy, since I have now managed to save the game after doing the Boxster trophy, and hopefully now that I've actually got myself a trophy on the board, maybe this will be just a wee bit easier than it was before. Although it won't surprise me if it isn't. But anyways, let's head to Metropolis in Japan, and where the guys we are going up against include Stephanie, Hayes, and Edge 2. And where I'm pretty sure Hayes will no doubt have the best car of all of us, because, well, from what I've established so far with my failed attempts of trying to win this, Hayes has basically been handing our asses to us in terms of on-track pace. And I forgot to set up the car.
3, 2,
oh well.
1, go!
I guess we'll just have to wait and see how good this car really is, and see if it can manage to hold a handle stick to Hayes' 968. Okay, that is very unhelpful when I'm trying to actually win this race, but I did not mean to do that. That was totally a mistake. Oh, fuck both of you. I think it's also fair to say my laptop really does not like the low FPS I'm currently recording this at. It is very disliking the low FPS it's currently giving me. Can you just fuck off, please? Can you just focus on somebody else to hit aside from me? Even though I'm pretty sure that's one request she will likely not take. God, I fucking hate this track. I've got no idea how I can be that much slower than the AI here. There's got to be something they're doing. There has to be some sort of trickery under those hoods that's just making me feel like my ass is basically just being nailed, if not stapled, to the wall. No, I guess I'm just gonna have to... Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to fight for second before I fight for first. I guess that's kind of what's gonna happen here. Unless I can somehow manage to catch up to Hayes. I'm gonna have to try and see if I can finish second first and then finish first afterwards. If that's what it's gonna take for me to win this. I'm hoping it doesn't come down to that, but either way, at the moment it kind of looks to be the strategy I'm gonna have to use in order to move forwards. Although whilst I'm saying that, I am actually closing in on the leader, so maybe I do have an answer to Hayes's golden 968.
You've beaten a lap record for this track. It's the final lap.
Oh, I was 3 seconds ahead of the lap record on that lap. Yes, by the way, I did have to barge up the inside to get the maneuver done. He would have basically done the same to me anyway, so I feel no remorse for doing that. And now I've just got to make sure I stay on the inside of these corners without Hayes punting me all over the place. Yeah, something tells me he's clearly got the better car here, and to be completely honest, it's going to be a monolithic task for me to basically fend him off at this stage. Yeah, it looks as though I'm going to have to settle for second on my first attempt. Well, on my first completed attempt. It looks as though I may have to settle for second if I cannot manage to stop him. But we'll wait and see. I did not think that was going to work.
You set a new course and lap record. Congratulations. You've won the race.
I did not think that was actually going to happen. Oh, what do you know? Both myself and Hayes set nice finishing times. I won by dead on a second, and we both set 6+ minute times with a nice number of tenths. But anyways, I'm so glad to say I finally won this race. And I can definitely say it took plenty of trial and error for me to eventually decide when to actually win this race. And I'm glad to say this time around my attempts did not chirp out. I was glad everything had worked out. And yes, by the way, I am quoting Ice Cube and the song "It Was a Good Day." You know, basically the lines dropped her ass off and then chirped out, "I was glad everything had worked out." By the way, if you're a hip-hop enthusiast, then you would probably know that is also one of Ice Cube's best-known hits. And for someone who does listen to at least a few Ice Cube tracks, I can definitely say that is no doubt one of his better ones. Still, I did not think, until I pulled off that last minute outside dive bomb, basically pulling off a torpedo move, that I was somehow going to win it. It was definitely a courageous attempt that somehow worked. And Stephanie finished last in the end of that race after we were battling for the first 1.5 laps. Edge 2 came in third, and it looks as though the 968 Convertible Sport has managed to beat Hayes in Metropolis. And now that I have got my thumbnail evidence, we can now move on to the Class 3 tournament event, I think. That's probably what's going to be coming next, but anyways. Gotta collect the winnings first. So 20 grand for winning. I'm glad to say this time around the maneuver I made actually proved to be the winning maneuver. And so, let's check out our next trophy. Okay, so I'm so glad to say I finally won the 968 trophy. And I can confidently say that was a hard-fought effort for me to do properly. But anyways, point is, it's done now, so let's move on to our next event, coming in the next episode.